is The Buzzard.
From the Barrio Tacos Tequila and Whiskey Studios.
The Buzzard.
The home of the Buzzard.
Buzzard. This is 100.7 WMMS.
Cleveland.
Time to give, stop away.
All right, we were just talking about the late night shows not being on because of the strike, and so some of these guys are going on the road, and that's what John Oliver is doing. John Oliver Live is a few weeks away. It is Wednesday, October the 11th. He's going to be at the Akron Civic Theater. You can go to livenation.com for all the details. And if you're listening from outside of Ohio, he might be coming to your town. So you might want to check him out online. But locally, Wednesday, October 11th, Akron Civic Theater. You want to see John Oliver live? Be caller 10, and these tickets are yours. Good luck. 216-578-1007. 800-348-1007.
To pee or not to pee? Whoops, I already started.
The Alan Cox Show is back.
On 100.7 WMMS.
35192. Want to send me a text? Mary's out today. Gwen is in.
Hi.
It also happens to be our 10th anniversary today.
What a way to celebrate.
I know, right? I mean, it's...
Nora goes, why are you going in on Dad's show? And I said, because it's the only way we can spend our anniversary together.
Yeah, well, I'd argue if I could. But somebody texted me and asked if my approach to the show was any different when you are in.
That's a great question.
Are you slightly nervous? Do you try harder to impress? Are you more ebullient? Are you giddy?
They didn't type that.
We want to know. That's what it says. Well, listen, I'm always trying to impress my wife.
It's true. He's always on.
Well, listen, what do you want? I mean,
it's great when
I only
Alan,
have a couple of
when
things
Alan
going
has a
for me.
new
So.
audience. Like we were at Moon Dance on Saturday, and my friend Ashley was with us, and she and
Moon
Alan
Dance?
haven't.
It's a fundraiser out where we live, and I was volunteer bartending
Right.
for Moon Dance, and so we were giving of
For
our
Bay Arts, yeah.
for the Bay Arts program. Yes.
And Ashley and Alan haven't spent a ton of time together, and he was quick with the jokes.
Well, I had a few in me too.
I know.
Yeah, I was pretty lit up. Yep. When I got
that
done,
kind of bartending, huh?
no, it was after. I mean,
One
no,
for
no,
you, one for me.
Nope, straight and narrow while I'm bartending. But afterwards,
Did you
had a
throw
couple-
the towel over your shoulder and listen to people's problems?
Sure did. I said, "What can I do you for?" It was a lot of that. What can I do you for? Although I
A real
did find
Sam Malone behind the bar.
that's right. I did find myself wiping the bar down a lot.
Well, you
Because
were pushing in chairs on the way to the in the office.
Well, I can be fastidious with my organizational peccadillos. But yeah, so I was wiping the bar down a lot. But I was back there with our friend Rick, who it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
Now I know today is a big day for us, but I do want to make a honorable mention. I don't want this opportunity to pass. Our dear friend Rick today, Rick Siebert.
Yep.
He got Wordle in one.
He got Wordle in one?
He got Wordle in one.
Gwen's
Gwen's
and
got,
incredible.
Gwen's got a couple of Whirl and Ones
I
under her
just
belt.
want to say it's been very lonely at the top, and it's nice to have some company.
I haven't played Wordle in a
Congratulations.
while, but
What was the word?
It was clear. Oh, sorry if someone hasn't.
But what was
That's-
it?
well, now
You
somebody
just
else
gave
can get Wordle in
everybody
one.
Whirl
I
and One.
know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
How big deal?
It's
So
not
they
the
get a
same if
Whirl
you've
and
heard
One.
it.
I would
Sorry,
always-
I wasn't going to say it because I know
Do
some
you
people
you
have-
guess a different word every day to start?
Now I do.
Yeah,
I
so
used
that
to
you can
kind
get
of
Wordle in one.
I used to rotate like 3 or 4
Mhm.
different ones, and then a couple weeks ago I got it in one, and then within the same week I got it in one again.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know.
Yep.
And then I was like, I'm gonna get kicked out of my Wordle group because
You're killing it.
nobody wants to be in a Wordle group with someone who's just like picking
Getting ones,
picking
yeah.
words out of the air. But
Yeah.
but Rick joined me, and I just wanted to send him a hearty congrats.
A
buddy.
laurel and a hearty handshake.
Yeah.
It's harder to do
And I-
that than being married for 10 years, I'll tell you that, Rick.
Man, the odds too.
To me, especially.
Yeah.
Other people have tried. Only Gwen has succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so that would be my answer to you, texter, sir or madam, is that I'm usually trying to I don't really, it wouldn't really be different, but I'm usually, whether I'm here or not, I'm trying to impress.
But you don't care that I'm in.
No, I like when you're in.
Not that
People
you
like
don't
when you're
care,
in. No,
but-
because it's not that often.
Right.
Mary's gone a lot.
Yeah.
And you're only here occasionally.
Right.
So today literally just happened to be our anniversary. It wasn't like, oh, let's do this for our, it just so happened
no.
that she was gone for the rest of the week. And I was like, well, come on in. So it'll be fun.
This is also the 10-year anniversary of me being late to your wedding.
You missing our wedding?
Oh, you did, didn't
Yeah.
you? Yeah, your ex-wife was there, I think, right? Or did you
Yeah.
both miss it?
We were both,
No, they were
yeah,
in
it
the
was
same
her fault.
cab.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. I was pretty lit up. So yeah.
You were with.
I was trying to get there way faster. She took forever getting ready. I'll blame her.
Yeah. And we'll believe you.
Yeah. Well, anyway. Well, you missed a hell of a party.
Well, happy. No, they were there for the party.
We were there for
missed
the
a-
party.
You missed a
We
hell
just
of a
missed the ceremony.
The ceremony. You missed a hell of a
Hey,
ceremony.
yeah.
Everybody was sobbing. It was really great.
There's a lot of sobbing.
There was a lot of
So much
audible
sobbing.
sobbing.
Audible sobbing.
Audible sobbing by my bridesmaids.
Right. Quick
Yeah, I
with a
think
joke or light up your smoke. Yeah, that's a good one, too. Hey, do you know who? Let me play this for you. And I had to heavily edit this because even though it aired on C-SPAN,
Oh, I know exactly.
it's very graphic, all right? This is a Senate Judiciary Committee meeting on book bans and free speech. And this is one of those issues. You know, if you talk about Ron DeSantis wanting to tell people that, like, slaves had a great time and all that, like, right-wing nonsense, that's something that everybody can look at and go, that's patently absurd. But with the book bans, you kind of have to go past the headlines and the clickbait. And because the questions that are being asked in a lot of these things with respect to what books should go into school libraries, there are valid questions being asked. Now, John Kennedy is a senator from Louisiana. He's a Republican. Anytime you see him on like the Sunday morning chat shows, he's up there like Foghorn Leghorn. He's always like,
I say, you know. Usually, I say, I'll slip the condom on.
yeah, usually he's spouting out some nonsense. But this is him reading explicit excerpts from books and asking the people who are testifying, should these books be in schools? The Illinois Secretary of State was there. Somebody who is part of a teachers group in Texas is there, and you'll hear him talk to a student. But he's reading excerpts, and C-SPAN aired this fully because he was just reading from these books. One of them called All Boys Aren't Blue, and another book called Gender Queer. These are two books that they have shined a spotlight on here, saying that there are some people, even some relatively progressive parents around the country, have said, look, there are some books I don't really want to be in the middle school library. And you can understand where they're coming from. Now, I don't know at what level of education they're talking about these, but listen to John Kennedy read some of these books.
Worst pain I think I have ever felt in my life. Eventually, I felt a mix of pleasure with the pain. Close quote. All boys aren't blue. The second is another much discussed book. I'm sure you're familiar with it. It's called Gender Queer. Okay? Let me read an excerpt from that. Quote, I got a new strap-on harness today. I can't wait to put it on you. It will fit my favorite dildo perfectly. You're going to look so hot. End quote. Now, if you were running things, what would you do?
By the way, I cut a lot
Blue,
out
the
of that.
scene you mentioned.
I cut a lot out of that. He goes on like signing documents and all kinds of stuff.
I mean, it's like using the C word and stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty descriptive. Also, I guess I should have finished Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah, let me play the rest of it because his point is, again, this is just a clip from C-SPAN, but his point is like, what do you guys want us to do with these books? Because, you know.
So hot. End quote. Now, if you were running things, what would you do?
All Boys Aren't Blue, the scene you mentioned, is about sexual abuse.
I know what it's about.
It's not
What would
erotic.
you
Somehow they got some kid from Central Casting, by the way, talking about this genderqueer book. He's sitting there with like a bow tie on and a thing. And
do in terms of making the books available? Would you say anybody can see them, or they have to be in a special session?
Students who do not read books like All Boys Aren't Blue cannot learn what is appropriate.
I understand that.
They cannot learn
I understand, but none of
about
you want to
abuse.
answer my question. You come here and you say censorship is bad, and of course it's bad. But the obvious response is, okay, you heard the books we're talking about. Okay, we're not talking about Catcher in the Rye. So tell me what you want, who gets to decide. And all I've heard is the librarians.
so most of the right-wing nonsense is that they want to use the cover of Parents Should Have a Choice to ban books that they don't like. So that's kind of the banner ad on this. But to ask groups, what do you want us to do about these books? That's not an illegitimate question. But him reading these passages is wild. Portnoy's complaint would have been a good one, too, if you want to go way back. But it was just, it's a wild, if you have any time, about 6-7 minutes, to watch that clip from C-SPAN, it's pretty wild.
I remember when I was in school, when I would pretend to read and I would cut the kid, well, because my last name was Brown, so I was in front of the line to pick whatever book I wanted. And I would hear the smart kids who actually read all the time what books have like dirty words in them. And so I would go pick those books. And that was like a thing. It would say a word like sex, or we made out, or like I went up her skirt behind the stairwell in school or something like that. And I thought that was salacious. So I couldn't imagine what the Scholastic Book Fair would be like now.
We had a book.
About dildos.
We had a book in Catholic junior high. Well, my school was K through 8. We had a book that you could never find in the library because it was always checked out because it was so dog-eared. It was called Forever by Judy Blume. Remember Judy Blume? She wrote a lot of books for kids. Well, there was one about teenagers, and it was called Forever. The book is from like the mid-'70s. We were looking at it in 10 years later. But it was always on one of those censorship lists because there was like a good 15-page passage of these kids in the backseat of the car having sex for the first time. It was really graphic. And I mean, I went steady with that book for a good couple of years. And it was because everybody knew like pages 21 to 34, bro. You know,
yeah,
that kind
like
of thing.
kids talk about that stuff.
And that was in Catholic school. So, but these questions about where would you like these books? I'm a very progressive parent, but I wouldn't want books like that in the library where my kid could walk up. Now, if they did, they'd ask questions, and I go, well, this is what this is. But it's really above and beyond the pay grade of a kid at a certain age. So I guess those are the questions they're asking. And the people who just respond like, well, these books are for people to learn, like that's not an answer. That's not the answer to the question. People in charge have to have an answer to the question, where would you like these books?
So historically, not historically, but there's a rating system for video games, for TV shows, for movies. Could there be one for books?
There absolutely should be one.
Right.
I thought there was one.
I mean, and these are I doesn't sound like there is. I mean,
No, but just like
you can't get 50 Shades of Grey.
No,
in
but
a school
just
library.
but just like
Yeah, it's
with
always checked out.
But just like with movies and video games, that's not going to keep people from getting it if they want to get it.
That's not the point.
No,
Well,
I
it
mean,
kind
if
of is
they're
the
going to
point.
get it outside of school, that's one thing. But
Yeah.
if you have, if you've got a fifth grader, like in our town, fifth grade starts middle school. Like if you're going to have a fifth grader trying to check out a book that's 17 and older,
Right.
they're not able to. They don't.
But I
have
can't
access
imagine
to
that a
it.
book like that would be in a middle school library in the first place.
But-
I mean, it's assuming that
But
like
what is this strap-on dildo? What is that? Is
well,
it-
again, I don't want to pull it out of context. I don't think that that's a book they found in a kindergarten library.
well,
but
not
I
a
think
kindergarten, but at a school
Well, yeah, was it
library,
in
like.
the school?
yeah, but a high school library.
But that's what I'm saying. Like.
There's this notion. There's like this right wing notion that librarians are all lesbians who want to teach
I'm
everybody,
saying it should
and
be
that's not what it
attached
is.
to the kids' library card. If we're just
Well,
talking
yeah.
about school libraries, I think there should be.
Well, that sounds like something that would cost money.
But
And
it's
libraries
an
are
answer to
chronically
a question of
underfunded.
what do you want us to do with these books?
Right.
We want you to have a
these aren't-
safeguard from younger kids checking them out of.
Well, and
Again, these are school libraries, so they are getting whatever funds that school has, and I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility to be like, hey, there's going to be some stuff that is more young adult stuff
Sure.
that you can't check out if you're a fifth grader.
Right. That's
I don't think that's a crazy way to deal with this. But also, kids have access to so much stuff now just from their phones. So when we're like, yeah, what if they read this book, but they can already Google all this stuff on their phones?
Don't parents?
You
some
can do
parents
a
have
V-chip or
access
something.
You can, but kids are going to want to find things out. They're going to find it out.
Sure, but I don't think that schools. I mean, listen, anything pornographic, period. I
Right.
guess.
Mm-hmm.
Anything about a strap-on, like that, doesn't need to be in a school library.
We were supposed to wait till we were, I think,
I don't think.
14 to have like a MySpace, and then you just change your age. Like, so kids will find a way to get around it. But
That's
the
what I'm
fact
saying.
that
If
you're
kids want to find out about strap-ons, they're going to find out about
Right,
But I
strap-ons.
agree. That doesn't mean get rid of the.
But it doesn't mean,
get rid
yeah,
of
it
the
should
age
be
restriction.
available in school.
That's what I'm
Right,
saying.
yeah.
The delineation
And
line
I
is
think
school.
I have no problem with them not putting this book in a school. I don't think it's part of any curriculum that
full of
needs to be
demons.
Right.
in there.
If people have questions about something like that.
Now,
they
if it's
can-
in a library, the kids, again, it's not banned. It's just not available at a school. It just
Right.
but also, don't put Bibles in there either.
Unfortunately, a book like this would probably make me read because I was always wanting to read stuff that I wasn't supposed to. Like I would stay up late and watch like Real Sex on HBO and like watch Queer as Folk.
So you would have
So-
you would have been a brainiac if every teacher you ever had told you not to read your textbooks.
Correct. Like
Yeah.
if she said there was something.
Okay, whatever you do not do this physics homework tonight.
Don't read your Jared Kushner book.
Don't read science texts or anything.
That's what he wanted for Christmas.
But I
No.
needed. Yeah, I did because I think he's cute.
But did you read it? Aren't pictures?
No, he has not read it.
There are
pictures.
pictures.
There
and
are pictures?
Yes. That's why he wanted it.
He's got a thing for skeleton face white boys.
Not all of them.
Alan, I read The Godfather in the 5th grade, and there's that scene with Sonny banging his mistress against the wall. Yeah. Well,
But was
yeah,
that in your school library?
Don't know.
Like, I remember kids reading Stephen King
Right.
in middle school, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of graphic stuff in Stephen King novels. I read some Dean Koontz novels that were very graphic, but I didn't get it from the school, and that's the difference.
Right.
Like, if kids want to get books, they're going to find books, but you don't have to have it available in the schools.
Correct.
Have you seen Dean Koontz recently, by the way? I think
I
he
have
put
not.
out a new book, and so there's
I don't think I've seen Dean Koontz ever.
picture of
Me
him.
neither.
Well, for a long time, people
I'm thinking
thought
of the guy who played Superman. Who's that?
for Dean Kane. For a
He's
long
also
time,
very against these books. He's super right.
yeah, he is. For a long time, people thought that Dean Koontz was Stephen King. You know how Stephen King used to write under Paul Bachman or something like that? People thought that Dean...
Paul Bachman Overdrive.
Thank you. People thought that Dean Koontz, for a while, was Stephen King because their styles were so similar and nobody ever saw Dean Koontz. But there was a picture that went around of him a little while ago of his hair. Let me find this for you. Because of what he used to look. Well, here you go. What he used to look like, and what he looks like now. Right over here. He, what he used to look like, where he basically had no hair, and now he's got like a, I don't know,
Got a real mop.
Yeah, he's got like a real a helmet going on there. But good for him. You sell a lot of books, you get yourself a transplant.
It's giving Dukakis.
That's what it is. Yes. In the tank.
Yeah.
With the helmet on.
Right. It looks like the helmet's on. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's obviously dyed.
I had a big Dean Koontz phase when I was younger. Watchers and those were
I just
great.
remember reading Hideaway.
Yep.
That was the one I read.
Terrible movie. They made that movie with Alicia Silverstone and
Jeff Goldblum.
Jeff
right?
Goldblum. Yeah, it was terrible. But
The book was good.
yeah, the books were great. I'm going to break here. I will have Extreme tickets for you. They announced this show yesterday. These are not on sale until Friday, but Extreme is going back on the road with special guest Living Color. What? Are you all right? Oh, I thought you said something. So I'll have those for you. They're going to play MGM Northfield Park after the first of the year. So we'll do that coming back.
This is the Alan Cox Show.
Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app or whatever smart device you have. Just tell it to play the Alan Cox Show on iHeartRadio.
The countdown is on to our 2023 iHeartRadio Music Festival.
The most massive live music event of the year.
Friday and Saturday, September 22nd and 23rd at T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.
Streaming live only on Hulu.
Superstar